Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining this morning. We shall make a start, and we're in the last two chapters, well, last two shlokas rather, and chapter 2, and we'll discuss them today and also go through what we've done so far. Let's do Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Giravardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Giravardhari Yashodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Agyantimirannasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatunitam Tam Sajim Sadhvetam Savadutam Prajna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivisha Kanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Eshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Paramami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatrubhishcha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Mande Shri Guru Dintaranam Paramnanda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hariyam Tassat Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamaduriyat Nasta Preshu Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nestiki Hare Krishna. Right, so 33 shloka number we shall go to. Okay, so 33 Asau Gunamayer Bhavir Bhuta Sukshmendriya Atambhi Swanirmiteshu Nirvishto Bhonkte Bhuteshu Tad Gunan. So Asau, the Paramatma, Gunmai, influenced by the modes of nature, Bhavahi, naturally, Bhuta, created, Suksham, subtle Indriya senses, Atambi by the living beings, Sva Nirmiteshu in his own creation, Nirvishta entering, Bhukte causes to enjoy, Bhuteshu in the living entities, Tat Gunan those modes of nature. So Asav Guna me Bhavir, Bhuta, Sukshma Indriya Atambi, Sva Nirmiteshu Nirvishto, Bhukte Bhuteshu Tat Guna. Hare Krishna. So, and happy Shivratri to everyone. Shiva is the greatest Vaishnav. The super soul enters into the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and cause them to enjoy the effects of those modes by the subtle mind. There are 8.4 million species of living beings, beginning from the highest intellectual being Brahma down to the insignificant ant, and all of them are enjoying the material world according to the desires of the subtle mind and gross material body. The gross material body is based on the conditions of the subtle mind, and the senses are created according to the desire of the living beings. The Lord has Paramatma. Well, first of all, so the senses are created according to the desire of the living being. So whatever our desires are, we will get that kind of gross body, we'll get that kind of mind, and we will get those kind of senses. So, which means, it could be any of the 8.4 million species. So everything is based on desire, because the atomic soul, that's all it can do is desire. It really cannot do anything else. So because it desires and Krishna fulfills all desires, it will get that kind of body, it will get that kind of mentality. Krishna will fulfill your desire according to how you deserve. Not that you want to be a billionaire and you will become a billionaire because you desired it. You will become a billionaire according to how you deserve it. So somebody wants to be a billionaire but doesn't really deserve to be a billionaire but wants to be a billionaire, then he might come as a dog in a billionaire's house. Billionaires have pets, so he might be their dog. So now you are also a billionaire, living their lifestyle. So it's like that. Krishna fulfills all desires, but he fulfills them according to our capacity, according to our deserving those. So we have to be very careful what we ask for. One, we don't ask for material things, because then you're bonded into the material world again and again. And plus, before you ask something, make sure, are you worthy of that? Do you actually deserve that, what you are asking for? Have you done anything about that you should get that? So you have to be very careful. So the Lord as Paramatma helps the living beings to get material happiness, because the living being is helpless in all respects in obtaining what he desires. So we can only desire. The Lord provides, sanctions and material energy actually manifests our desire, and the Lord sanctions it. The Lord as Paramatma helps the living being get material happiness, because the living being is helpless in all respect in obtaining what he desires. He proposes and the Lord disposes. So not necessarily you get it the way you want it. In other sense, the living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord. They are therefore one with the Lord. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the living beings in all varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons. The sufferings and enjoyments of the sons are indirectly the sufferings and enjoyments of the Father. So Krishna, he's not happy to see us suffering, but what can he do? We have some independence, and if we choose to misuse the independence, then we cannot blame Krishna for that. He doesn't want to treat us like robots. He doesn't want to like control us completely. Then what is the point? He wants to give some freedom to choose, but it's you have the intelligence to make that decision. Otherwise, why would he give us intelligence? Just mind and senses be enough, to live a life. You don't necessarily need intelligence to live like animals. So it gives us intelligence so we can make the right choices. We can think what is right and wrong. The mind thinks of what I like, what I don't like. I like this, I don't like this. And the intelligence thinks, now this is good, this is bad. These things should be done this way. So it's given the intelligence for that reason, so we can discriminate between right and wrong. In other case, the sufferings, enjoyments of the sons are indirectly the sufferings, enjoyments of the father. Still, the father is not in any way affected directly by the sufferings and enjoyments of the sons. He is so kind that he constantly remains with the living being as Paramatma and always tries to convert the living beings towards a real happiness. So we're getting a constant reminder through various mediums that where is the real happiness. So we are looking for, we're all looking for happiness. The soul is always looking for happiness. It's Sat Chit Ananda. It wants happiness, but unfortunately it forgets where the real happiness lies and looks for happiness in the wrong places. Happiness as in the shadows. You're looking for happiness. You can't get happiness in a shadow. If there's a shadow of something that you like eating, you cannot get happy. You might just get temporary happiness just by looking at it. Wow, this reminded me of that. But you cannot get real happiness by eating a shadow, right? So shadow happiness cannot give you happiness. Shadow happiness, it's a perverted happiness, is temporary happiness, and we think that is happiness, and we get some of it for a temporary period. We think, wow, that was nice. We had a lot of fun. That was, it made me happy. But then we back to a sad life again, because that was only temporary. And that's the duality, or the Chapla Sukha of this world. Everything is very, very temporary. So Srila Prabhupada also explains that even though the super soul, when it enters our body, material body, the Lord, even though the super soul does not interfere in our affairs, he just fulfills all our desires, as we just discussed. Yet he desires that we connect to a pure devotee and start turning our attention back towards him. As we were saying last time, that we are like two birds on a branch. One bird is enjoying the fruit, the other bird is just watching, and the one bird who's enjoying the fruit is not looking at his friend who's sitting next to him, and the other bird is still just waiting for the bird to stop pecking on the fruit and just turn around and see his friend. Then he can help you more. So once we turn around and acknowledge our friend, then he would love to help us. He's sitting there. That's why he's there. He wants to help us. He wants to tell us, he wants to guide us. And Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He wants to tell us, which way to go. But if we don't look at him, then he really can't help us. He wants to turn around and look at him and acknowledge him, and then he will show us the way. By the way, what you're doing is not helpful at all. This is what the way the real fruit is, and that's where we should be going. So that's Shloka 33, 34. Bhavyati esha satvena lokan vailoka bhavanha leela atra nurato deva triyan naradishu. So Bhavyati maintains, Aisha all these,
Satvena in the mode of goodness, Lokan all over the universe, very generally, Loka Bhavana, the master of all universes, Leela, pastimes, Avatar, incarnation, Anuratha, assuming the role, Deva, the demigods, Tiryak, lower animals, Nara Adishu, in the midst of human beings. Bhava Yati Esha Satvena Lokan Vailoka Bhavanha, Leela Avatarana Nuruto, Deva Triyan Naradishu. Thus the Lord of the universes maintains all planets inhabited by demigods, men and lower animals. And they are all his sons. Krishna sees them all his sons. Assuming the roles of incarnations, he performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. So this is answer to one of the questions that the sages asked. So there are innumerable material universes or multiverses as we know them, and in each and every universe there are innumerable planets inhabited by different grades of living entities in different modes of nature. The Lord Vishnu incarnates himself in each and every one of them and in each and every type of living society. So the Lord, when material world is created, he incarnates himself in each and every one, every type of planet, every type of universe. He manifests his transcendental pastimes amongst them just to create the desire to go back to Godhead. So he inspires the living entities to go back. He reminds them to go back. The Lord does not change his original transcendental position, but he appears to be differently manifested according to the particular time, circumstances and society. So just read that again. The Lord does not change his original transcendental position, but he appears to be differently manifested according to the particular time, circumstances and society. So the Lord may come as half man, half lion, or come as a tortoise, or come as a fish. That's just a different body he takes, but he's still the same. It's not that he's, now he got a mentality of a fish or a tortoise. Still the Lord, he just changed his shape, that's all. Sometimes he incarnates himself or empowers a suitable living being to act for him. So this is Shakti Avesha avatars. They get empowered in certain ways. They might get empowered like say some of the kings who are the ruling Maharaj Prithu, like that. He had the power to rule, and you get Prajapatis, to Manus, like that, to give them the power to do what is necessary at the time. But in either case, the purpose is the same. The Lord wants the suffering living beings to go back home, back to Godhead. So with the same goal. The happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within any corner of the innumerable universes and material planets. Because at the end of the day, they're all made of the same material. Just because there's another universe doesn't mean that it's something special. It's exactly the same thing. It's the same. All these materials are coming from the same merchant. It's the same material yard. Krishna's, building yard. Yeah, they're all coming from there. It's the same thing, whichever universe you go to. The happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within any corner of the universe and material planets. The eternal happiness which the living being wants is obtainable in the kingdom of God. Now that place is different. But the forgetful living beings under the influence of the material modes have no information of the kingdom of God, because we are under illusion. The Lord therefore comes to propagate the message of the kingdom of God, either personally as an incarnation or through his bona fide representative as the good son of God. So he comes his own incarnation or sensory representatives to claim those people who are ready. Like we're talking about the wood. If the wood is dry, if the grass is dry, it will quickly catch fire. So he comes to claim those people who are ready to go back. Such incarnation, and the ones who are not ready to go back, they won't see anything. Such incarnations or sons of God are not making propaganda for going back to Godhead only within the human society. Such incarnations or sons of God are not making propaganda for going back to Godhead only within the human society. Their work is also going on in all types of societies, amongst demigods and those other than human beings. Okay, so there's 400,000 different types of species, and propaganda is not just going here on the planet Earth, it's going on in other planets as well. And what's this? Okay, sound is not very clear. Okay, let me just see. I did right. Right, I'm going to stop sharing this now, and thank you. I'm just going to turn this. I tried the original sound today. Is that better? Please let me know if that's any better. Okay, I was trying the original sound.
It was okay for us. Maybe it was Mataji's connection. Is it better for you, Mataji, now?
I think for me it's quite bad. The sound still so crackly in my line. I don't know if it's where I
Your
am
voice
or
is crackling. Yeah.
Yeah,
is it
Mataji,
crackling, yeah.
to be honest, I'm not getting very good sound from your side. I think maybe it's the
The
this,
weather, I think, as well, because it's
connection.
raining here. So
Yeah, shame. Because very important. I wanted to go through this. Okay, you can understand what I'm saying, though, right, everyone? Still crackly?
just about, you can just about get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, mine is, I think, not too good.
Oh, you want to log from a different device, Mataji? See. Well, I think probably it is the
I
connection.
think it's where I am. I think my location is probably the reason. But please carry on. Please carry on.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, as long as we have majority is happy. That's amazing. Yeah, you can try and log in again if you want, Mataji, and you can try that. Okay, I've turned the original sound off. It's supposed to make things better, but I don't know it. Right, I'm talking. I'm going to turn the original sound back on again. Does this sound better, or was it sound better just a second ago?
It's okay for us, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right. So now I just want to quickly go through what we been discussing so far. So in the first chapter, the 6 questions were asked by the sages, and now those questions some of the questions have been answered so far, and also they'll be answered throughout the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There'll be like more elaboration on those answers. So what do we have so far? So the first question was, what is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general? What is the ultimate benefit for mankind? That was the original question. So we're saying, what is the absolute and ultimate good, or Shreya, we're talking about, for people in general. So Sutta Goswami was answering those questions on behalf of Shaunak Rishi and the other sages that were present that day. So what is the absolute true good for mankind? So after describing that devotion, let me just see, that explains, Sutta Goswami explains that the ultimate benefit for people in general is to become free from material bondage. That's the ultimate benefit. And develop love of God through devotional service offered only to Krishna. That is the ultimate benefit. or his plenary parts, but Iskcon, we try to concentrate on Krishna, as I explained last time, that when you focus on Krishna, everybody else gets served also. So that's the answer to the first question, or at least part answer to the first question. And in the second question is, what is the essence of all scriptures? And that was described as devotional service to Sri Krishna is the essence of all of the scriptures. And we also said that Sri Krishna is the only object of worship, and establishing one's lost relationship with him in love and service through devotional service is proclaimed as sum and substance of the Vedic literatures. So worshipping Krishna is the essence of all scriptures. And third question was, for what reason did the Lord take his birth from Devaki? So, as we said in the last shloka, that he comes to reclaim people who are ready to go back. So he comes to inspire everyone, but especially those who are now ready to return back to Godhead. He comes for them to reclaim them, those in the mode of pure goodness. So we have to be in the mode of goodness and aspire for mode of pure goodness, and there's a good chance we can go back to Godhead. And then this question will be answered in many more chapters, many more cantos later on. Question 4 was describe the activities of the incarnations, or describe the wonderful deeds of the Lord when he assumed the form of Brahma, Rudra for these purposes. Excuse me. So question 4, describe the activities of the incarnations of the Lord. So the sages wanted to know about the incarnations, Lord, and the answer was the Lord's incarnations are described. Not yet. They'll be described later on in the later chapters. Yes, there'll be 22 incarnations. We'll be discussing them soon. And question 5, tell us of the acts of the Lord performs in relationship to creating the material world. So the answer, so as wherein the Bhagavatam explains how Vasudeva creates a material substance and enters into it, as we just was discussing, and into it as the Purusha incarnations, or the avatars, the Vishnu, the three Vishnus. In addition, and then we discuss later on, we'll discuss more on that. And then question 6 was, where have religious principles gone after Krishna's disappearance? And this will be discussed more later on as well. So basically, I'll tell you, we did partly discuss this. It was the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this Bhagavad Puran, which is brilliant as the sun. It has risen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion. So these religious principles went with Krishna when he left. They went with him. So so what happens now is that persons who have lost their vision due to their dense darkness or ignorance, logically shall get the light from this Puran. So even though the religious principles left with Krishna, we have the light, which is brilliant as the sun, in form of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Thank you. So these were the 6 questions. So what's the ultimate good of humanity? What's the essence of all scripture knowledge? Why did Krishna appear in this world? What were the activities of the Lord in relation to creation? And what were the activities of each incarnation of the Lord? And when Krishna departs from the world, where will religious principles be found? And Sutta Goswami tries to answer these questions. And then in chapter 2, divinity and divine service. So in chapter 2, so before replying, Sutta Goswami first offers his obeisances to his Guru. So the questions were asked in chapter 1, the 6 questions, and they're partly answered in chapter 2. So before he answered the questions, he paid his obeisances, as you remember, to his Guru, to Sukadeva Goswami, and to the Narayan, to sages Nara and Narayan Rishi, Mother Saraswati, and Srila Vyasadeva. As we chant every morning the verse 4 of the second chapter. So Sutta Goswami he praised the inquiries of the sages because they were about Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He stresses the importance of the process of self-realization and its goal, which is devotion service to Krishna. So Sutta says further that since Krishna is the absolute truth, one must satisfy him by devotional service. And he described the gradual, we discussed the gradual progress of consciousness of a devotee who overcomes the effects of the modes of nature and attains pure devotional service through the proper hearing of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and serving pure devotees. So we went through that quite a lot. We were discussing the stages of bhakti, right? From Shraddha to Prema, how the consciousness changes when we go through these stages. So we are looking for Prema end of the day, but Shraddha, which we have been asked to give to, we should help others by a good example, and we should give them Shraddha by a good example, so they can move on to the stages to Prema. And we also said that after Nartham Nivritti, we can like become 75% qualified once we purified, because that is the aim of human life, to purify the senses which the animals can't do. Once we purify these senses, then we can qualify in the state of Nishtha to go back home, because of Mahaprabhu has given us that facility. Otherwise Krishna wants 100%, but because we are following Mahaprabhu, we can go back home with 75% because we have purified our senses at least 75%. And what does purifying the senses mean? Purifying the senses means that we no longer want to satisfy our own senses, we want to satisfy Krishna's senses. Right? So that's the goal for us. So Sutta Goswami discussed that point, and then last few weeks or last few days we've discussed why Krishna is worshipable above all other demigods and all the smaller gods, so to speak. Why he is the ultimate deity of worship. We discussed that in a quite elaborate way. So we purify the senses, we worship him, Krishna, and then we finally talked about how Krishna, as the Purusha Avtaras, enters into the universe. So he's the super soul in the heart. He is the super soul of the universe, and he is the super soul in every atom. He enters every atom in the universe, not just this universe, but in all the universes and all the planets. So you can see the bigger picture, and we're discussing this to see the the grandeur of Krishna, who Krishna is. Not just saying that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because he's in the spiritual world, like that, we're showing, what Krishna actually does, and what he does for us, and what he has created for us. And there's a lot more in the spiritual world, which is the real place, which is the real residence. But we, for some reason or other, we wanted to be here, and Krishna says that's fine, you can be here, but it's not that doors are closed for you. You can also come back home, and he wants us to come back home. He even comes himself to claim us to go back home. But do we have our suitcases packed, or are we still lying in the bed, right? How are we making our way to the airport? So we have to be ready to go. Then he's happy to take us. So I hope that's rounded off in some way. Sorry if there's any confusion. You can ask any questions if you like. And on Friday we'll have an overview of the chapter 2 from His Grace Tribanga Prabhu. As we discussed, he's been in the movement for a very, very long time, from very young age, and is initiated by Srila Prabhupada. So we look forward to that. That'll be in the evening, 8 till 9 p.m. So thank you so much, and let's discuss, and let's see who we have here. Okay, Hina Mataji. Okay, we'll start with Hina Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. You can hear me, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear me?
It's a bit crackly, but
Yeah, I think I'm struggling to hear, so I haven't caught too much. But I think for me, from the verses that we've covered, it was around that we need to be very careful with our desires, and in terms of what we wish for. And I also got the fact that the Lord wants us to go home, and that's the reason for his various incarnations and leelas, to attract us back home, essentially. So it's not too much. I have struggled to hear today. Apologies. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much.
thank you, Mataji. I'm just thinking, Srila Prabhupada has told us to make the best of a bad bargain. And you can see Krishna as well. Where we get that quality from? We get it from Krishna, right? Make the best of a bad bargain. Because Krishna, we, the rebellious children, want to live without him. And so he built this material world for us. But at the same time, he's taken the opportunity to do his leelas, right? He likes to do leelas because he's doing leelas, eternal leelas, every universe, every planet he's doing. So he's taken the opportunity to do his drama all over the material creation. So he's taken advantage of that because he likes rasas. He likes different rasas, and even fighting. This is why we have the two gatekeepers in different incarnations fighting with him. He loves to do all the rasas, and he's taken the opportunities as well. Okay, you're going to live like that, then why don't I join you, and let's have some fun as well. So he loves Ananda. He's Satchitananda as well. He's a Satchitananda Vigraha, and he loves to have fun. He's very colorful. He enjoys interacting with the living entities. Thank you so much. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and pranam to everyone. In these two verses, we've seen how the desires, give us the body and the mind according to our senses. According to our desire, Krishna gives us the body and thus the senses. So if we want to attain Krishna, we have to be very careful about our material desires. In Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami has clearly said, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam, Gyan Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulam Shilna. Sorry, I'm forgetting them. So, we have to be free of the material desires and all the fruitive actions. Then only pure devotional service starts. So, and the first question was, what is the ultimate good for the mankind? it is to be free from the material desires. So if we think we can just live two lives, material life and spiritual life, keep deciding, there is no end. So like you said, is there a question? I was going to ask you, Prabhuji, we need a checklist before we leave for holiday, so we need to have a checklist. So what we need. So we need to chant properly. We need to read books, Srila Prabhupada books. And I think it will really help, and to see our progress, are we progressing, or how we can get rid of our anarthas, all our vices. And the other thing is Ishavasya principle, like Krishna is the owner and the controller of everything. So he's residing in everyone's heart as a Paramatma, and he is the doer. He is doing everything for us to be happy, because we are looking for happiness, but there is no happiness in this material world. So only happiness is at the lotus feet of the Lord. And how Krishna, his innumerable universes, innumerable planets, he's present everywhere. So I always say, like, we don't see Krishna, but we feel Krishna. We feel his presence in everything. And what else we spoke about? Yeah, and Krishna, like, he helps us, guides us, like he has appeared, or he appears as an incarnation, or through the spiritual master, his representative. So when we have a spiritual master, we have to follow the instructions properly and fully to attain Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says that we spend so much time preparing. If you go on holiday, we spend so much time preparing, right? Make sure we got everything. We got our passport, we got our toothbrush, even, right? All the right clothes. We spend so much time preparing. But for this excursion back to Godhead, we don't prepare anything, and we think we're going to go back. We got no passport, we got no documents, we got nothing ready that we can go back, and yet we think we can catch that flight. So yeah.
Not only passport and things, Prabhuji, for me, I'll make sure that I take malakti, ajwain, and stuff like that. So, so am I thinking what I need to take when I go to Krishna? So I need to be, not material things. Sorry, my Prabhu saying it, everything will be there, but how I'm going to prepare myself. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Deepak Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Babuji. While we were just doing this last two verses of this chapter in first canto, it just kind of occurred to me that, like, Bhagavad-Gita's second chapter is very, very important, because we say that it summarizes the Bhagavad-Gita. In a similar way, this first canto, second chapter is also important, that it has answered the first two questions of the sages, but it has kind of set the scene for the rest of the Bhagavatam. What is there to follow? It has told us that, okay, Krishna is God in the sense that he is a generator, he is a destroyer, and he is an occupier himself as well. And the way that he occupies is that he incarnates himself in immense number of ways. So he can incarnate himself as the Purusha avatars, the Leela avatars, the Yuga avatars, the Guna avatars. He can incarnate himself as Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He can incarnate himself. I don't recall, today is Shivratri, and I was just trying to recall, is there any other, when we say God, that we can, who has done so many incarnations? No. If you see Krishna, so he, in north we worship him as Krishna, in south we worship him as Balaji, and then there is Panduranga, and then there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And sometimes I think that, I don't know whether we are allowed to say this or not, but I think Prabhupada was also an incarnation of Krishna. Somebody, when you listen to his videos, when you listen to his lectures, the kind of confidence, the way that he speaks, not only to the devotees, not only to the non-devotees, but to all the interviews of those foreign channels. Like, there was this interview that he was giving to a channel over in USA when I think the Beatles were there and everything. The way that he was dealing with the main anchor, it is a lot of confidence. Yes, he was an absolute authority in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad-Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita and all the scriptures. But the way then he had full confidence. So I sometimes believe that he also was an incarnation, because to give Krishna consciousness to Indian people, yes, it is okay because we have that within us. But to give Krishna consciousness to somebody who are absolutely on the opposite side of the four regulative principles and make them into a devotee, I think that's a very, very, very big achievement. And similarly, with the second chapter, also obviously it clearly says that he is the supreme personality and he creates everything. And then obviously, then it's just like I was discussing last time that so kids are very fond of doll houses, so they build a doll house, then they put some characters into it, and then there is, once you are doing it, there is an in-depth or inherent you can say wish to actually go into the doll house as well, and you want to go into the doll house as well. I think that is what Krishna does. So when he's watching, he's created all these universes and all these lokas and everything, and then he thinks, okay, let me go and play with the people as well, and then that is when he incarnates. So very, very important chapter, and thank you for such a beautiful summary of the questions as well as how they are being unfolded and setting the scene for the rest of the cantos and rest of the chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Srila Prabhupada, he never ceases to amaze me as well. Just think there was a picture yesterday I was seeing, and you got the Western devotees sitting there with him. He looks very happy, that they're discussing, having a bit of banter, and as well, and you got all the Matajis in the doorways, there's quite a few doors, and they're like, oh, watching, because the room is full, and there's people standing, Matajis, again, Western, and they look also excited and so intrigued, and so happy, and Prabhupada's happy, they all look so happy. I mean, what's the chance of some Asian old man making so many Westerns happy? They wouldn't give us time of day, most of the time. But to have that energy, that control, that power, potency, yeah, it's really, you think how is that possible? It's really amazing. And
Prabhuji, is it right to say that the Prabhupada was Shakti Avaisha Avatar?
you could say that.
He was.
Yeah, he was Shakti Avaisha Avatar, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's a Shakti Avaisha Avatar. I mean, I can't remember at the moment, but look, we have so many Manjaris and Gopis, so they are coming, here as well. We go Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, and like that. So, yeah, he's definitely was empowered, because no one, a jiva is minute. A jiva cannot do what Prabhupada did, or even when jivas do the wrong things, that they don't have that power to do what they do unless they have been empowered to do it by Krishna. We just don't have that potency. I mean, he was hardly sleeping, and I don't understand how he managed to initiate so many thousands of people. He went around the world so many times, and he's translated so many books,
Built temples.
built 108 temples. How can somebody do that in a span of 10 years? It's really beyond me, and it's like extraordinary, not for just Asians, even for the Western societies. They really cannot understand how is that possible to do so many things. And he's given so many classes as well, so many lectures, and so many walks, so many room conversations. He met so many great people, big famous people. He inspired so many people. Within 10 years to achieve that, it's mind-boggling.
Mahaprabhu had said that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that my Bhakti Senapati avatar
will come. Yeah, yes. Mahaprabhu had predicted that my Senapati will come, and fight the Maya.
And not only that, like Prabhupada was cooking when he went to America and feeding everyone. And I always think that he must have told everyone how to play mridanga, because in Western countries,
he taught
nobody will
everything.
Yeah, I taught everything.
Yeah. So, and I think Keshav Maharaj always say, like, with the mercy of Krishna, the time expands. So Krishna expanded, Prabhupada's time, and he managed to do so much.
Amazing. Okay, Ajay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
These 6 questions from the sages, it's not by chance that they ask these questions. Krishna makes sure that the right sages came to name Ishwarya, that it was understood that once he departed, that the people of Kali Yuga were in a perilous condition because lack of religious principles, degradation. So Krishna's mercy is always there, even when his Prakriti Leela has seemingly ended. So it's even with the sages, that's the important thing there is that the right sages. So they could have asked any questions, really. I mean, it wasn't just that all the sages, everyone there was, all sages at that time were just Vaishnavas. They had different thought processes, but the sages that were brought there, they knew, what's the benefit for humanity, Krishna's pastimes, and what everything's put out in a systematic formula that we can actually appreciate it. And again, that is just the mercy of Krishna, that he's always maintaining this. It's not that we're left alone and just suffer. If we generally decide to inquire about his glories, then we will either be attracted to Krishna one way or another, either through his books, from, like, for example, Prabhupada, his books, or we meet a devotee or something. Yeah, so it's at times it does seem incredible how it can all happen, but all it takes is a bit of effort, and it can all just start rolling very quickly. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Yeah, amazing questions. Yeah, you're right. There were so many people from other belief systems. They weren't necessarily worship of Krishna, and so they're trying to fulfill. Even at least I remember when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking, there were so many other philosophies present there, and like some of them get bewildered, like what's he talking about, and he was like, make sure that they understand why he's saying what he's saying. So yeah, like there's so many schools of thought, right? And Radharani.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Everyone, happy Mahashivratri. Vaishvanarana Yatha Shambho. Bhagavatam tells us, and it's only thanks to Bhagavatam that we know that Shiva is the greatest Vaishnav. Earlier on, we used to think Shivji is also one of the Bhagwan. Like, in the temples, everybody is Bhagwan. It's only thanks to Srila Prabhupada we understand what's the hierarchy, what is everything around us, what Maya is, what is Mahamaya, what is Yogamaya. And, we can just glorify Prabhupada for the rest of our life. Sometimes it feels like that. Never mind glorifying Bhagavatam. And yes, question 4 of the sages of Naimisharanya has been answered in verses 30 to 34. And this answer carries on in Cantos 2 and Canto 3 as well. So just seems that the right people were chosen, like Acharya has just said before us, that right people were chosen to be present as listeners and to ask the right questions. So nothing happens by chance. Everything has got a place in this, in the bigger scheme of things in the universe. So these questions they look only one-liners, and look how expanded answers were given, which is amazing. And that too by Shukadev. Shukadev is the parrot of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the internal potency of Shri Krishna. So Krishna is answering everyone's queries in a very systematic fashion, in a very systematic order, and the answers are coming direct from Krishna. So we have been given all the answers now. If somebody challenges us that how do we know, we can just show them the roadmap that look, it goes from here to here. And Srila Prabhupada, what he has done for us, I think is the best thing, that we have done something in our lives in the past, that we must have inquired something about God, that our journey continued, and we were lucky in a way that we took birth in this Kali Yuga, and we're getting all these facilities as answers to our queries. And let's pray to Shiva today, that Lord Shiva, that please give us a little bit of that Vaishnav Bhakti like he has, and that he even chooses to become a gopi in Vrindavan, and he is revered as Gopeshwar Mahadev. We're asked as Gaudiya Vaishnavas that go visit the Gopeshwar Mahadev before you see the deities in Iskcon Vrindavan. So how amazing it is, you know, to celebrate these festivals and to understand the meaning behind them. And happy Mahashivratri again to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And I was just reading this morning that Mahadev, he meditates on Lord Ram. He meditates and he chants constantly Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that's his chanting, because he follows Lord Ram, or Krishna in the form of incarnation of Lord Ram, like that. And also he said that unmarried girls, they worship Lord Shiva, yeah, so they get the really good husband, a really nice husband. But that nice husband doesn't mean he's very rich or is very talented in some way, like that. Nice husband is who's a Vaishnav. That's why they are asking Shiva, because Shiva is the greatest Vaishnav. So they want a husband who's, maybe some of them don't understand that, what they're asking for, but they're really asking for a great Vaishnava husband, because if he's worshipping, then the wife, she's helping him in his bhakti, and then they can both go back home, qualified to go back home together. So that's the idea of worshipping Lord Shiva, to help you go back, or especially Shivratri, we ask him, like Radharani just said, that we ask him for his mercy, and so we can also become great Vaishnavas. So thank you so much. This morning is a very auspicious day, obviously, and to discuss Bhagavatam, but what better way to start your morning, and thank you all for your association and your realizations, and makes the whole thing complete. And we'll catch up on Friday evening and listen to Prabhu, and then
Hare Krishna.
thank you, Mataji.
Sorry, yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki
Jai.
jai. Gaur Premanande,
Yeah.
Hari Bol.
Very well. Prabhuji, I wanted to share this shloka. I was listening to class many years ago, and it doesn't give the name of the Acharya. They said, like, originally the